with your palette cleansers. Show me what you got.
What is up, Audionots? Welcome into a brand new episode of Audionots. I am Eric Oldboy, online with the infamous Ren himself, and this is your pop culture palette cleanser. What is happening, my dude?
So clean. What it do?
What it do?
Yeah,
What have you been up to?
I've been busy designing actually, because we are a design company.
Sweet.
Right now, we're working on shout out to Agent Tsunami and his little other mini gig that he's doing called Extreme Kicks, where they're selling they're like sneaker hits, you know.
Yeah, that's dope.
And
that's really cool. I actually helped with that one.
Yeah, they asked us to like design shirts and merch for them, and what they had in mind was really cool. So we're in the process of doing it. Maybe once we're done, we could show the nets out there how cool it is.
No, I think that'd be totally cool. Totally cool.
Yeah, and then
I've also been doing some design too.
Nice. What have you been working on?
So I'm working for a company called Sherman Candles and helping them design their candles. And they've been doing all sorts of like fun things, unique things that are like customized for other companies. So they have candles for like donut companies, realtors, all sorts of things like that.
Nice. Making big money. Let's go.
So that's been really cool too.
Yeah.
It's all good in the hood.
And then my other design was like, you know, if you're like a freelance designer, this is like one of the projects that you hate doing. Because like my one of my uncles from California calls up my dad. Hey, can I talk to? What up, uncle? What's going on? I need you to make me a flyer. I can't pay you because we're a nonprofit organization, but I really need your skill set.
Freebie designs.
Yeah. So I'm they're doing like a little volleyball tournament. I'm doing like a quick flyer promoting the tournament for them. So.
Well, that's how you work on your skill set, though, right? So you're helping them, and you can just dial in all your skills. So there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah, and then when I need like a new volleyball or something, you hook me up. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. You gotta always remind them. Remember that time I helped you for nothing?
Yeah. But yeah,
very cool. What else have you been up to?
Other than that, I'm becoming like the master beta breeder now. Like selling a bunch of my fishes, which is pretty cool.
I still think you should have called the company Master Betas.
I know.
It's been so amazing, Master Betas. Just imagine the merch on that alone. Honestly, it's not too late. You could still keep your real thing, House of Ren. I think that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. That's legit, not gross. But you could start like a side hustle that's the Master Betas. That's nothing but merch. Don't actually sell any kind of fish through it. Maybe it's like the merch side of this other thing. So it's House of Ren Master Betas.
So the House of Ren will be like my parent company.
Yeah, exactly. And this one's solely for the hilarious merch, And you could be like, are you a Master Beta? I'm a Master Beta.
Maybe I'll start designing some and put it on my TeePublic. Let's go.
Yeah, you could have. I'm already imagining the first shirt could say Master Betas, and then the two fish be like, "This water seems weird," and you can make it kind of like an off-white. It's genius. It's hilarious.
I have to rewatch this episode and remind myself about that genius idea.
Yeah, I mean that's money in the bank right there for sure.
Yeah, so when I make my storefront that sells only betas, I'll call it Master Betas.
I wonder right now if masterbeta.com is like available. Someone needs to jump on GoDaddy and see if that's something you can get.
Sure, it's taken, right?
It's got to be, right?
It's too obvious.
Is it though? Sometimes you get lucky, you get these things and no one has them yet. Okay, look it up.
As you jump onto like the next thing,
I'll just riff while you look it up because I'm not quite ready to move off of the beta topic because you've been telling me all sorts of cool stuff. Like you introduced me to something I never heard of, which was a beta shelf. Isn't that what?
Oh yeah. Oh, masterbeta.com. This site can't be reached. Let's go. Yeah, I was saying that I just went to masterbeta.com and it says this site can't be reached.
Oh,
maybe
that means
I
it
should
might
buy
be
it.
available as long as one of these fools didn't buy it. You know, like the guys that like buy the domain names and just sit on them and be like, yeah, you can have it, $2,500.
Maybe if I add like a hyphen in it, I'm like mastered hyphen beta.
Yeah. It's genius. I was asking you before we had some technical difficulties with our Wi-Fi. It's probably on my side. And I did, I do this one thing that's usually pretty quick is where I reset my router right before we go. And I forgot to do that today. So it's probably overly cached on all the crap that's running off of it in my house. But I was asking you that thing you were telling me about. It's like a beta shelf or a beta, like what was it called?
Oh, it's like a beta rack, basically.
Beta rack. So tell everybody what the beta rack is, because I thought it was totally fascinating.
It's kind of like, imagine like there's like a bookshelf, right? Where there's like 4 rows of books, but instead of books, you replace the books with like little
it's almost like little rectangular tanks or something kind of lined up.
And so above each tank, there's like a little like nose where you could like it drips in water, adjust the flow, And so each knob drips in water, which is like pumped from the bottom, the new water that's been filtered out.
Right.
So it's like a whole cycle where it goes from the bottom, goes to all the tubes, and then gets into the little drip system where it gives the tanks like fresh water throughout the day, and it recycles over and over again.
So when you have it on the shelf and it's like this recycling drip system, does the top tank drip into the bottom tank?
Oh no. So
it just fills it up enough that it pushes out through like an exhale type button.
Yeah. So there's like, and behind each tank, there's like a little hole, right? So once the water gets to that hole, it like comes out of the tank, right? And it drips down to where it funnels into another tube that goes into the bottom of that
gets filtered and comes back up eventually.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works. I was like, man, I want one of those.
How many shelves are there in a beta rack? Like, is it like 6, 8, 20, 50?
Well, if you look on like YouTube or on the interwebs, it's usually what people do, like DIY stuff.
Yeah.
But this one I found at a shop where they're like, this is the best one you could buy, which is like from Australia. So you can't even get it in the States.
Well, maybe you just realized maybe Master Betas isn't just a merch store. It just makes these drip tank shelves. Like,
oh no,
you become the United States manufacturer of beta racks.
Yeah. But then the beta rack, man, it looks freaking dope. Like the DIY looks so cheesy. And this one, they like perfected it to where it looks like legit.
Right.
To where people use
the real deal.
Yeah. If you look at like shops that sells fishes, they basically use that to promote their betas. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need one of those.
Yeah, maybe for sure.
For my
what does a beta rack cost? Is it like crazy money?
Well, I couldn't find it in like the OG site that makes them.
Yeah.
And so I came across this like website in California that probably like carries it from buying it overseas and bringing it to the States.
Right. Resells them.
Yeah. And then they're selling for $1,500.
Wow. That's some real money. Now you know why people Jimmy rig their own rather than buy one.
Yeah. Plus, if you could like sell like the mail bed is like $30 a piece. You could probably make it up pretty easy.
That's true. Yeah. Because you're still selling fish like crazy, right?
Yeah, I've been shipping every week. Yeah,
it's amazing. Like I'm still like in shock that that's a thing that is successful. It's like we were talking about that offline. I'm like, it doesn't matter what goofy idea you have. If you're dedicated to it and willing to put in the time, you could live off of it, right? You can make it so it's successful. And like this is just like a small example of something that I never knew was a thing that you've made into a thing.
Yeah, I was telling my wife, like, there's a big hole in my heart that it's missing. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. What is that? I'm like, before I start breeding my fish, I imagine getting a bunch of male betas and then I could sell it, shelve it really nice, show it off, and then sell like each one for like $30 a pop and be making bank. And then, as a universe, like, I'll show you. Gave me a bunch of females and no.
Nothing but female betas. But you're like the premium female beta retailer now.
Yeah. I'm actually sending one on Monday to Texas.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nice. Very cool. Does it come with a little cowboy hat?
Nah. I gave him little stickers only.
Oh, so you need to make the Master Beta stickers to put in there.
I know.
Some people may not appreciate it. They'll get it. Some like little old lady will get it and she'll be like, what the hell?
that?
What is this?
Cancel him.
This son of a bitch.
Yeah,
That's funny.
It's been fun. I enjoy my little hobby.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. What else you been up to?
Trying to keeping up with like stocks, and right now crypto is really hot. So we're trying to NFTs. We're trying to learn more about that, and it's like the future, man. It's so complicated that it's hard.
Well, you were telling me about how like Dogecoin has like gone way up, and I feel like such an idiot for having sold mine so soon, because I jumped in on it when it was like 0.00005 or something. It was like cents on the dollar for sure, and it was cents on the cent. You know, it wasn't even a full penny. It wasn't even half a penny. It wasn't even a quarter of a penny when I bought it. And I bought a ton of it, and then I sold it when I was all excited because I made $20 profit. I'm like, $20 profit, let's go. Yeah, and now it's worth like 69-70 cents per piece, right?
Yeah, but when we were into it, like way back in the day of like January.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're like, if it goes to 8 cents, we're gonna sell because that's the highest it will be.
Yeah, it'll never go higher than that.
Yeah, and then the highest I saw was like 68 cents or something like that.
Yeah, I was reading this article about it, and they said if you had bought $1,000 worth of it in January, you'd have almost like $500,000 or something. It was incredible. So this is like, oh, what was I doing? I just don't have the brass ones that requires to do that, I think. Because like I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, I'm down with cryptocurrency, and I like how cheap this cryptocurrency is, but I'm concerned that it's based off of a meme.
Yeah.
It's funny. I enjoy it. I'll throw a few bucks at it. But like, yeah, I did not have the stones or the, what do they call it? The diamond hands to hang on to it very long.
Yeah, you know, as we said before, we are not your financial advisors. And we're just telling you what we're doing, you know, entertainment purposes only.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how it's a joke, but now that Elon's like tweeting about it, saying it, a few retailers are taking it. You know, I heard that Newegg, the big
the computer guys.
Yeah, I heard that you could use your Dogecoin to buy stuff from there. I'm like, what the heck?
That's crazy.
Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks, you know, and then I heard that the Oakland A's professional baseball team, you could buy tickets with Dogecoin.
Yeah, you were saying that you could buy like 3 games of tickets, 1 seat for 3 games for like 12 Dogecoins or something.
I think like 20 Dogecoin, and then we did the math. We did the math. 20 Dogecoin at that point was like $12 for 3 games.
And that's crazy to me, especially if you'd bought it like when I had bought it. I mean, I could have went to an Oakland A's game for like 2 pennies.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh.
Let's go all day.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting when you think about it, right? Like, let's say you're spending $12, you know, of Dogecoin, and then Oakland A's gets it, hoping that if the crypto goes up, they're gonna get it like at $20, you know. So they're profiting
and getting more money.
Yeah, they're profiting that $8 off of you. So it's kind of like a win-win to where you spend so little for this ticket while they're like making more profit from you or something.
In baseball tickets, when you sit in the cheap seats, have always been kind of cheap. Like I remember as a kid, you could get those kind of things at like the store. If you spent like $50 on groceries, they'd give you like a baseball ticket. Yeah. So it's along those same lines that they're willing to give those away. But in this instance, you're right. It may end up paying off for them, where they end up making as much money, if not more, than they would have sold the very most expensive seats for.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy if you think about it, right? It's I don't know. The more I think about it, the more like just my head hurts. Like, oh, I don't think I can adapt to this.
Cryptocurrency and NFTs are really like just going bonkers right now. And I saw, in fact, I'm gonna steal one of my later news stories and talk about it. Venmo, you know, the ones that you use to like trade cash to a friend and things like that. Yeah. Venmo allows you to buy cryptocurrency now, and so you can actually buy cryptocurrency right through the app, which makes it super convenient. We were talking about the other day how like I was looking at a map locally for something, and I came across the Bitcoin ATM, and it was like, you know, like a local convenience store, and they have these things on there where you can go and buy cryptocurrency in like these ATMs in like really crap neighborhoods inside of Plaid Pantry type stores, and you're like, what is happening? And like it's amazing how it's like globally growing into like all the sectors. There's nothing above it or below it that doesn't work.
Yeah, my question is like, let's say you buy Bitcoin through Venmo, right?
Yeah.
So when you pay somebody or pay a business or whatever, and they do take Bitcoin, do you just use your Venmo to transfer it to whoever?
I think so. I think the benefit of it is the fact that, like what we were talked about before, like the value of it can change. So the value of a piece of cryptocurrency is not always equal to the value of the dollar you bought it for, and so it could change along the ways. So it says here that more than 70 million users use Venmo now, and now they can purchase Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. So that's pretty cool. It says Venmo's cryptocurrency feature went live for some users on Wednesday and is available to more people in the coming weeks. The PayPal-owned company said the feature also includes a tutorial on how to use cryptocurrency, how to buy it, because they want to go full bore on this cryptocurrency craze. So it's pretty neat that like we're getting that from big companies that we all know and use.
Man, we're like going backwards now. News jacuzzis begin. We begin news jacuzzi.
I know. It would fit so perfect. I had to jump ahead a little bit because I'm like, this is pretty cool. But it does actually lead me to my next segment that I want to talk about, because I think I kind of like going right now. We've been doing the NFTs. So like, Ren, are you down with NFTs?
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you know me. So we were talking about like how there's always so many new things coming out in NFTs, and one of the newest things, we were actually looking at this offline, and you didn't believe me when I told you about it and how expensive it was. Yeah. But there's a new one called MeBits, and so MeBits is the most current craze right now from Larva Labs. Now, Larva Labs, for those who are really into NFTs, know they're the ones that make CryptoPunks and autoglyphs. And so they basically make these like little NFT digital collectibles. And so it says here that what they want to do is their MeBits is a series of 20,000 distinctive 3D avatars designed to be used in a metaverse. Remember, we've talked about the metaverse in the past and how we can see it. Like we're what we are. We're like the future tellers. We're just seeing these things and sharing them with everybody. And it's like, open your eyes so you could be in on it before it's too late. But in the blog piece, they announced that the collection by Larva Labs was, they hope that MeBits will be 3D avatars for all virtual worlds, including games and VR. In some ways, the collection closely resembles that of the CryptoPunks. Each MeBit character comes with a different attribute that denotes the level of scarcity. Skeletons, visitors, and robots, for example, are much more scarce than humans. The collection initially went live with a community grant that allowed punk and autoglyph owners to mint their own MeBits for free. One character could be minted per punk or glyph. So if you'd already owned a punk or a glyph, so if you were already involved in one of those NFTs, you got one of these MeBits for free, which is incredible, because when I tell you how much they're going for now, you're gonna wish you were doing crypto or doing at least the punks. One character, blah, blah, blah. So shortly after the community grant started, a public sale of 9,000 MeBits went live. They were initially priced for 2.5 Ethereum, which is about $8,400 in real money. Okay. The price of the NFTs then fell as time went on, though most of the pieces were quickly snapped up. Within 6 hours of going live, the public release was completely sold out. This meant that one MeBit was priced above 2.4 at the sellout time. According to the data by Dune Analytics, Larva Labs made a staggering $79 million in this sale. Isn't that crazy? And so this is where they got a little bit of flack. It says the MeBit Sells proves to be a little bit divisive. Although the Dutch auction format was used to establish a fair market value of the series, many crypto followers took shots at the initial price tag. Some pointed to the recent Bored Ape sale that went live last week, and it became the talk of the NFT community. They were being priced at the more affordable range of 0.08 Ethereum, but the creators didn't have the same prestige that Larva Labs does. And so like the fact that they ended up being averaging out of over $8,000 per little digital character, And for a full final sale of $72 million is just insane. And that was it. They only minted the 20,000 for now. That's all that's out there. So if you want one, you have to buy it in the aftermarket for, I'm assuming, more than $8,000.
Damn, the 0.008 is more my speed.
Well, I think what's amazing about this is that we talked about in past NFT segments that you can create. You go into like OpenSeas or some of these other ones and create your own NFT for free. It doesn't cost any money. Like you or I could go do that right now. And I've seen what these MeBits look like, and I've seen what CryptoPunks look like. CryptoPunks, by the way, look like old 8-bit like animated style. I mean, it looks straight like out of 8-bit video games. But what would stop someone from like you or me just making knockoff and selling them for a lot less?
Right.
Right?
Because like if you don't know how MeBits look like, it basically imagine Minecraft but in HD.
Yeah, they're high quality 3D graphics, but I'm quite certain that it would be fairly easy for us to make our own versions of these. I'm just wondering what would make them, I don't know, copyrighted or something like that, because we could just call them something else. You don't even go close to the same name, but just have them in the same vein. I mean, cool 3D character, and then put it on like OpenSeas and say, guess what? It's only $4,000, and then just sell the crap out of them. We only minted 10.
We're gonna make ones that call like chi-bits, more chibi style. Because like when you draw like chibi or all that stuff, you basically use the same body, like the Funko Pops, same body, right? You're just changing how it looks.
And that's when you look at these MeBits. So when everybody's listening to this and they jump on their phone and they start looking up MeBits, tell us that we're wrong, that all of them don't have, exactly as Ren's explaining, the same structure across the board with different designs flopped on top.
We're going to change the hair. We're going to change, the accessories, the shirt, whatever. But as a developer or as a designer, you have the same body and it's just copy and paste and update stuff, like, oh my gosh, this is so
I just
crazy.
Can't figure out what makes them so valuable. Like they said, the prestige of Larva Labs, it must be the difference. That has to be the defining factor. Because why couldn't, like I said, just any general artist make something like that and say, hey, go ahead and use this. I'll put it on because you go into OpenSea, you can put it right on the Ethereum blockchain and they could still do all the same things, use it in gaming or whatever it is on their Twitter.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I just want to know who the hell is buying these stuff and what do you do with it? Like,
and why do they have so much money?
Yeah, what do you guys do? Like, you guys just stream all day or something? Like, man.
Yeah. If there's any like real NFT bros out there, you guys need to like contact us, hit us up on Twitter and I'll get you on the show and you can explain to us how this works and why you think it's worth it.
I want you to blow my mind.
Yeah, because I can't, like, I get a lot of it. That one's just kind of like, wow, I'm not sure I quite understand yet. And I wonder if it's just the trendiness of it is what's making these values so high.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, look, there's only 20,000 MeBits, right? And if you use that as your avatar, you're like one of the 20,000 that has it. And like, oh, look at me.
But what's interesting about it is, I mean, I could probably straight up steal, as soon as I see it floating around somewhere, I could steal an image of it. At least I could have a flattened version of their MeBit. It may not move around, but I could like do a still of it instantly. And
but
who's going to stop me?
It doesn't have the token, man.
That's true.
No, we need to do though. We need to do like make your little character. Yeah. And then you gotta like sell NFT dances like in the Fortnite and start doing all those crazy dances. Kids will go crazy.
What someone needs to do is create their own little avatars, and then you let the people pay ahead of time for something customizable on it, and then you mint it, and then you give it to them. So they make it look the way they want it to look. And I'm not sure, from that article, it sounded like maybe they did that a little bit. But that seems like the next evolution in this is where I'm gonna pay $8,000. I'm gonna send you the features I want on it, like I'm ordering my pizza, and you guys make it the way I want to make it.
But ain't that like last time when we talked about like Genie Marketplace, where they basically NFT outfits where you could buy the outfits?
Yeah, but those are like pre-made outfits, right?
Yeah.
What if I wanted to have
Oh,
my flamingo shirt and that doesn't exist in there? I'm like, hey, I want you guys to give me this with my Adidas hat, and then they do that. You know what I mean? Like they make it very customized. You know, like you could have dorky bobbleheads made of yourself like that, but
right.
NFT like avatars or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I guess one of a kind.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if I'm sure somebody will do that if they haven't already. You know, it could already exist for all I know.
And then you, as a collector, do you just collect it and have it, or would you like try to sell it, or what do you do? I just don't know.
Yeah, it's still like we're all kind of figuring out still. Like for me, my mind is so much easier wraps around the basketball stuff because I've grown up with basketball cards and trading cards, and so I easily my mind can associate that as a collectible. Whereas this is harder for me because I'm older and I've always seen these things as like, oh yeah, those are just things you like connect to your social media account and it's silly and fun. But I have a harder time understanding the worth. Now, if it was like say Ninja or like one of these really famous like gamer dudes had one and I could buy theirs, then I could see some like $8,000 worth of value in it
Yeah.
because it's associated to him. But these are just like artwork, and so it's seeing how it's worth so much is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of the NBA Top Shop, I'm in the subreddit, and
Oh yeah,
somebody posted, he's like, "Have you guys seen this one? You know, you made it when somebody made a parody website of yours, right?
yeah.
And they made one called like NBA like low shot or not shot or
So that's not very clever.
basically the
NBA
opposite.
low shot,
Yeah, something the opposite of it. I forgot what it is, but
bottom shot.
basically, basically, you know, Shaq's Shaqting the Fool.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
they're making moments
yeah,
of like the worst plays.
yeah. And everyone's like, "This is genius. I want this moment better." You know, it's hilarious.
Honestly, NBA Top Shot should jump on that because they're always talking about doing weird, unique ones like dudes with tattoos, best slam dunks, that kind of thing. So yeah, they
Yeah,
should totally do
yeah.
like they should honestly get Shaq and do Shaq and a fool. Because I saw when I was watching the Blazer game the other day and they were playing the Atlanta Hawks. And the one guy, they stole the ball. The Atlanta stole the ball from Portland, which makes me sad as a Portland fan. But we killed them. Or no, we lost that game. That was
Yeah,
the only
we,
one we lost on
yeah,
that road trip.
yeah.
And the guy was running ahead, and the guy Trey Young went to throw the ball, and the guy tripped. Right, he fell on the ground,
Oh
and
yeah,
as he's
yeah.
turning around, the ball's arriving and just smashes him right in the face and bounces out of bounds. It was amazing. And the announcers started laughing; they couldn't get through it. That would be the perfect. I would like to actually
Yeah.
own that moment.
Yeah, see that it started as a joke, like Dogecoin, but they got
Yeah,
something going. Like it's funny how they have a bunch of like those highlights, and then they did it to where you could like put it in your car and buy it and stuff like that.
yeah.
But then since it's a joke, it's all like $0, so you can't really buy it. But it's pretty
Oh, so
funny.
it's yeah, it gets harder when you actually have to build the part around it that takes the
Yeah,
money and all that stuff. That's so
yeah.
funny.
I thought it was hilarious. That's like I want those moments more than these moments now.
We're probably only a matter of time, if it's not already happening, away from scammers creating NFTs that aren't really anything. You know,
Oh yeah.
they're not on any kind of blockchain for confused people that are listening to us and getting excited and they go looking it up and like, I'm gonna buy this, and then spending money on just like some gift some guy stole off of Google.
I wonder if you like go onto like eBay or something, and look up
Oh,
NFT and see if you like people are selling it, because
does eBay sell digital assets?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Yeah, I would suggest if they do not to buy an NFT off of eBay.
Yeah.
This is one piece of advice that you should use. Don't buy NFTs off eBay.
Yes. Just buy my beta fishes.
Yes, beta fishes are the real life NFTs. That could be your first NFTs. You could make beta fish graphics that just swim around on their phones.
Maybe. It's
You're like, I don't want to do that. It sounds like a lot of work.
yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to our next category. I think it's time for the healthy stream. Over on Disney Plus, they finished Captain America and all those good guys, the Winter Soldier and the Falcon and friends,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they moved over to Star Wars. And so the first episode of the Bad Batch came out, and it picked up right where kind of Clone Wars left off, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. What do you think about Bad Batch episode 1?
Yeah. Came out on Star Wars Day. May the
Yes, yeah,
4th be with you.
that's
It was
right.
like an hour-long episode. I didn't expect that. I'm like watching it. I'm like, oh, how long do I have left? What? 30 more minutes?
I think it
It's
was even
amazing.
longer than an hour. It was like an hour 15. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was really
like
cool. It was
70,
almost
I
like
think.
a mini movie.
Yeah. For me, I loved it, man. Like you get to see little Caleb, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah. And then you only see like flashbacks of that in Rebels.
Right.
But this one you actually see what happened and you're like, damn, I got chills, dude.
Yeah, you know why he was able to kind of get away, because of where he was just in the right place at the right time when Order 66 came down.
Yeah. It was funny in like, where's your backup? They're a little crazy, but here they are.
I really like the premise of it, and then they gave us a little Saw Gerrera too, so we got a young Saw Gerrera, and then they were introducing us to the messed up clones, or the Bad Batch, and what were they calling? They had a name for him even.
99.
Yeah,
something 99.
Clone 99, or I don't know. They had like a name for their group.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, there's 5 of them, and then they realized one of them didn't count as the 5, and we learned that the little girl assistant is the 5th clone.
Yeah, because Echo, if you watch Clone Wars, Echo was captured.
Right.
Because remember when in Clone Wars, all the bad guys kept countering everything that the clones did. And so Rex is like, how come they know every move I know,
Yeah,
it turns out Echo was like Rex's like right-hand man. So they were using Echo's mind to counter Rex's mind.
Yeah, I remember that. And that was crazy. And so Echo didn't really count as one of the kind of unique clones that they were attempting to make. And so we learned that the little girl is that one. And you were saying that you'd read that she might be force sensitive.
Yeah, because they kind of hinted at that, like where she felt feelings and she was a good shot, and just kind of like everything that you see Anakin go through,
Yeah
and stuff like that. And so the whole theory behind that is why does Palpatine want to track down the team, the Bad Batch, right? It's because she's with them and they're making a force sensitive clone for Palpatine, sort of thing.
So she's like the first trial run at trying to make that force sensitive clone. Well, and she's named Omega. And isn't Omega like one of the things that happens first? Isn't that kind of what that word means? And so that's kind of that kind of all ties together, really.
Yeah, it's like the last alphabet of the Greek alphabet. I don't know.
Alpha and Omega. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think that it was really cool. I really liked the episode. And the best part about it is it came out, like you said, on May 4th. But we get another one tomorrow. So it comes out every Friday from here on out, starting this Friday.
Is that confirmed?
Confirmed. Nice. I did the research.
2 this week?
Dope. Yeah, 2 in 1 week. So by the time everybody listens to this, they'll have seen 2 episodes. We haven't seen the second episode yet. And because of that, we learned that they're moving Loki. Once it comes out, it's going to be on Wednesdays, because they don't want Loki to conflict with the Bad Batch, because there'll be a short period of time where both of them are on at the same time. Talking about a good week of TV. You're going to get Loki episodes and Star Wars Bad Batch episodes in the same week, every week for a while.
Well, at the very least, when we do our podcast, we could talk about Loki, like the newest.
Yeah, because it comes out on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for that show. I mean, honestly, if I didn't know anything about WandaVision or Winter Soldier, and I just was thinking of all of them, I would still pick Loki, because Loki, like, I just like the concept of it. I really like Tom Hiddleston. I think that it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that was the one that, if you didn't know anything, you would look forward to the most.
Yeah.
Wanda was a surprise because it was like just really good.
Yeah, Wanda was really good. And I read some more about how Kevin Feige was saying that WandaVision is absolutely leading into Doctor Strange in the multiverse, and they are like tight knit as far as their plot points.
Nice.
So that'll be super cool.
So she is on a mission to find her kids. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, she's gonna be. Well, I think we're gonna use our predictions. We're gonna pull out our predicting face. I think that she's almost the villain, because she's like messing things up, trying to bring back her kids with her new witchy magic that she's learned. and he's got to kind of face her. And she, like any mother that's trapped, she'll do anything to protect her kids. She's lost them once, she's not going to lose them again. Wait for that line. You guys come back and listen to this when I say that line's going to be in it. Yeah. And it will be him versus her, and they're jumping in and out because of the magic that's involved. We got all these different universes, and we bring these kids to life finally, and we have the beginning of the Young Avengers.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna ask you, sticking with Marvel and Captain America and the Winter Soldier, you know how the Black Captain America, his nephew becomes
Isaiah.
He becomes a Patriot.
Yep.
Does he have powers?
So I think that what I read was that he does not have powers, but that he's just really good at something, or like, but who knows? They might give him powers in the end. He might end up inheriting them somehow. Or maybe it was because of his bloodline. He has a little bit of super serum in him or something, but not the level of the real Captain America. It was something like that.
So it is genetic then? After you inject yourself a super serum,
that you can pass it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know enough about it because that's a character that didn't exist in my comic book reading days. So anything I know, I may have read on Wikipedia and then forgotten half of it. So I wouldn't take any of this as like go to the grave type advice, or I'm doing my best here.
And like, how come Cap never got any kids with Agent Carter, man?
Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was frozen for a very long time. Maybe killed off all the little guys, so he couldn't make any kids.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're frozen for 70 years, maybe there's some side effects.
But super serum, man, wakes him back up.
He didn't have any super serum inside of him, so to shoot. Also on the Marvel front, since we're talking about Marvel, Captain Marvel 2 is now going to be called The Marvels, and I think we know why. I mean, because they've been teasing all these different Captain Marvel variations, right? So you've got the main Captain Marvel. We learned that Monica Rambeau is gonna become some sort of Captain Marvel type character, and she's already been confirmed to be in the new Captain Marvel. And then we're getting the Miss Marvel show with Camilla, whatever her name is. And so that's cool. So we're at least 3 different versions of Captain Marvel, maybe even more.
Yeah, because originally I thought that it was going to be their own stuff, right? No, man, we're going to combine everything, dude.
Maybe that's smart, though, because, I mean, of all the Marvel movies, a lot of people had a problem with Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, so maybe less of her is better.
Yeah. I think it's just her personality in the movie. Like, as an actress, I do like her,
Yeah, I think that whoever made that movie made her a little too like dull. Like they didn't want her to be kind of fun. And I honestly think you could make Captain Marvel fun like Thor, and it would be just as enjoyable, if not more.
Right.
They also renamed Black Panther 2, or it's going to be called Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So that's pretty cool. So we still don't really have any details on it, but I mean, I'm down.
Yeah.
Over on Netflix, I've been watching some more Shadow and Bone, and I know you told me you finished it, so I thought maybe we could give reviews on Shadow and Bone. I've only seen the first handful of episodes. I like it okay. Like I mentioned before, it really helps if you know kind of what the hell's going on before you get into it. I think the pacing's a little slow, but the acting's pretty good. But I like the concept of it. And you've seen the whole first season, right?
I did. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, that's cool. What's your review then on having seen it all? Is it something you would recommend, or what did you like and dislike about it?
For me, I gave it a solid 4 nuts.
4 nuts, so it's below average.
And then the ending, it got me like half a nut, so total 4.5 nuts.
Okay. Oh, so you like the ending?
Well, because like the beginning where they show you the fold, look all these monsters,
Yeah.
And then they like kind of like grab you into the show. Like, let's go, monsters, powers, let's go, right up our alley. And then from like episode 2 to episode 7, it's like talkie, and it's just like drama after drama. Nothing really happens.
Right.
And then at the end, it's like, we're going back to the fold, baby. And then stuff finally happens. And
so they saved all their special effects budget for the beginning and the end.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's for me at the end of the show, I'm like, I'm rooting for the bad guy, man.
Really?
Yeah. I'm in the dark side.
See, I don't think I've even gotten far enough that I know who the bad guy is. So I'm not like familiar who's the real bad guy. So that's still something I need to learn. But you were saying that you really like the gunslinger dude, that he kind of grew on you as to one of your
Yeah,
favorites.
yeah, he's like freaking hilarious, man. He's like just you gotta watch him. He's my favorite character.
Yeah, no, and I liked him for the little bit that I've seen. Like I like the scene where they're on the train going across the fold and he's like shooting all the creatures off the roof. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Just keep watching once you finish, and then we'll see if you're in the
4.5 range.
Yeah, get back to me.
It's better than the irregulars. You know, that was one of the other ones. I know you watched all the way, and I gave up after the first episode, and I'm glad I did because I heard today that they've canceled it. So they're making no more episodes of the Sherlock Holmes Irregulars Netflix show.
Yeah, that one's a very, very mediocre. And like I gave Shadow and Bone 4.5, but I think Shadow and Bone's better than that show. So.
Yeah. So there you go. And so if you haven't seen the Irregulars, don't waste your time because it's not even coming back for another season. I finished a show I did finish that I talked about last time was Why Are You Like This, which I said was kind of like the Always Sunny in Philadelphia meets like Broad City type Australian hilarity. And it's really funny. So it gets funnier as it goes. I was about halfway when we talked about it last time and I finished it this time. And it progressively gets better. I feel like the more you get, like most sitcoms that are good, the more you get to know the characters and their traits and their attributes, the funnier it becomes. And they're definitely not afraid to really push the limits of good taste, which is always my favorite. So it was really good. So yeah, I can recommend wholeheartedly Why Are You Like This on Netflix. I'd give it a solid 7. It's a funny show. I'd like to see. I hope it gets renewed, and because I went and looked at the main girl, I'm like, she's funny. So I looked, and she's like a stand-up comedian, and so I went to follow her on Twitter, and she has like less followers than we do.
What?
I'm like, what the crap? So I might actually try to see if I can get a hold of her and get her on the show.
Bring her on the show. We love
why
her.
are you not more popular? She's cute. She's funny. I mean, she's got a sweet ass Australian accent. I mean, what's not to like? I mean, you guys deserve another shot. So if you're out there, I don't even know what her real name is, but you deserve more love for that television show because she's also the creator and the writer.
If you could get her on the show, I promise you I will watch that show.
Okay. I'll try. I'll give it a shot. I mean, it can't hurt. I mean, she'll either ignore me or just say no. So it never hurts to try. But yeah, I was reading more about her and they got that show on. It was very similar to It's Always Sunny, how it started, because those who don't know, It's Always Sunny was a one-on contest. So when FX was in its early years, they held a contest that said, hey, if you want to be the next sitcom stars, make a pilot and send it to us. And It's Only Sunny people made a pilot and sent it to them, and they ended up winning the contest. And that's how it became this super long-running television show. Nice. Well, ABC over in Australia, which by the way is not the same. I was like told dumbass last time, like ABC over there does all sorts of different things. ABC stands for the Australian Broadcasting Company when you're in Australia. So completely different thing. So my bad on that. But the Australian Broadcasting Company was like, hey, we want to do something similar. And they were having a contest. And they did the same thing. They created basically like a YouTube video, submitted it, and won. And this was their pilot season to see if it's something that they'll keep making.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, is it fun fact that we went to the bar? That's
I don't think we've ever told anybody that. We've been to the It's Always Sunny bar, Patty's.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That was a good time. Were you with me when I went to the Cheers bar? Because I've been there too.
No.
Oh, that was cool too. No. So yeah, been to that one, and yeah, Patty's. That was cool. We went in there. We actually did we have a drink? I think we even had a drink.
We had a drink, and we had come on.
Yeah, so we've been to the actual location, so that it's based on, not that it's filmed. I believe it's filmed on a studio. Over on Amazon Prime, I finished, and I think Ren finished as well, Invincible, and I really liked it. I was almost shocked by how gory it got. Like they kept telling me this was a really adult, aggressive show, and it had like these moments where like, oh my gosh, that's violent for a cartoon. Man, that last fight between, spoiler alerts, between Omniman and Invincible was just amazing. Like I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, because I was telling you that when I watch anime or cartoons that I watch, all the fight scenes are kind of like slice and dice when there's blood, you cut off a head or cut up arm.
Right.
But this one was just like it just kept hitting and kept hitting and just like it's not gonna stop.
Yeah, it was next level incredible. And I want to talk about it a little bit. So if you haven't seen Invincible or the last episode, I don't want to ruin it for you. So like fast forward a few minutes to get past this. But we finally learned that Omni-Man is a real bad guy and that he's just there to take over the earth as a Venomite or whatever the hell they're called from his alien race. And he's like, Invincible's like, what about mom? And he's like, well, mom's more of a pet to me. And it was like, that was like, whoa, that's crazy. And he just like, he honestly doesn't care about human life because everybody compared to him is inferior. And so it's not all that emotional to him because he just doesn't understand why it should be. They live for thousands and thousands of years. And we're just, we're basically like ants. It'd be similar like you're walking down the sidewalk. You wouldn't think twice about stomping on a colony of ants and just keep going. And that's how he treats humans.
Yeah. But then at the very end, it kind of like dawned on him like, wait a minute. Maybe I do care about Mark,
Yeah, it was weird because like something clicked because he was beating the living shit out of him. And like he was smashing him in, busting him all to pieces. And then all of a sudden he just like and he's gone out into outer space. And I was listening to another show that was giving like big time details on Invincible. And these guys actually have read the full comic book series, and they said that it follows the series pretty closely. They're doing a really good job of that.
Yes.
And they were saying that they wouldn't be surprised if in season 2, by the way, it's been renewed for season 2 and 3 already. That's how popular it is. But they were saying that it's possible that we won't see Omni-Man at all in season 2 because of his the plot points that happened to him. Do you want me to tell you? Do you want to know, or do you want to leave it up to surprise?
Leave it up to surprise.
Okay, so I won't get into the details, but yeah, there's a lot of things that happen in between now and the finishing of the Invincible series that will really make you rethink everybody. And it sounds pretty incredible, just the parts they were talking about. And what's extra cool is how Seth Rogen had a kind of a cameo voice in it as the space alien that checks in on Earth. Seth Rogen liked it so much that he's developing a live action version of Invincible that's completely separate from the cartoon. And so we're going to get a movie eventually based on Invincible with real actors. And I was trying to think like, who would you cast as the characters?
No, remember I already did that for on Twitter. I
know you were talking about John Hamm, right?
Yeah, John Hamm as Omni-Man and Ryan Potter.
Omni-Ham.
Yeah, and then Ryan Potter as Mark.
Remind me who Ryan Potter is and what he's from that I would know.
He's the voice of Hero from Big Hero 6.
Oh,
and he plays Beast Boy in the Titan show on HBO Max. HBO.
Is he pretty young? Like we would buy him as a high schooler?
Yeah, and he's from Portland, Oregon. Let's go.
Oh, nice. Very cool. You said his name was Ryan Potter?
Yeah. He's not a wizard. He's just a regular dude.
He's not a wizard?
Yeah.
Like his brother Harry?
Yeah. Yeah, if you look up Ryan Potter, you're like, dude, he's like the only person that could play Mark, man, in my eyes. Like,
yeah, hopefully that happens then, because I've been trying to think about who would play all the characters. Like, who would you have play Adam Eve?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think the key here is they're all voiced by adults, but they need to be teenagers in a live action movie, right? They can't be the adults that the voice actors. Were there any voice actors in Invincible that you think could just automatically play the same part in the movie?
I think Rafi has to play Rafi.
Yeah, but he's way older than his character, because remember, he is dating the girl who's a high schooler.
Yeah, just put on like have him wear his mask the whole time.
I was thinking that maybe Robot, because that's the guy from other superhero show. What's his name?
Oh, Skylar.
Yeah, Spock. It's that guy.
Zachary Quintino or
yes,
whatever. Is it
Zachary Quinn something? Yeah, he could totally still play a robot because his voice is perfect for it. So that'd be okay. Especially since it's just like a garbly gook thing in the end. I think it would work okay.
Dude, that scene was so like kind of like gave me like to the
Yeah, it was like I love that show. So in the end, I think that I would like to give it a review now that I've seen the entire series of a 9. I liked it that much. I really enjoyed it. I don't watch as much animation as you do. So what would you give the first season of Invincible?
After watching the whole thing, and I got rid of my, bias,
Yeah.
from my anime bias, I actually gave it like a 9.5. I really like
Nice,
it.
even better than me. And you were
Yeah,
the one telling me that I only liked it because I was a white guy that didn't watch
yeah.
animation.
Because I think I got over the emotional part of it and just
Right.
kind of like watched it for what it is, and the storytelling is really good.
It's really good. But I
Yeah,
think you did catch on to something because I was listening to the other show and they were saying too that one of the things they had a very limited budget on this and they actually would recycle different cells and things. And that's why, or they would have it really flat where they didn't animate it and things were just happening, or they'd add really slow moments in to get the full hour.
yeah.
So yeah, it's not like you were imagining it. It's true. But for like basic people like me who don't watch a lot of really good detailed anime, it was like, oh yeah, that's I didn't even think about that. It never even
That's good.
occurred to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I pulled up my my tweet from our Twitter, and
Yeah.
this is Ryan Potter. If you can see.
Yeah. Back up. Oh, sort
Oh,
of. Your lights are so hot.
oh yeah, so
Oh
hot,
yeah, I see him now. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that guy would totally be the right.
dude. He is the perfect Ryan. Mark Grayson.
I wonder how old he is.
He's like
He looks
20. He's like 20, early 20s. I think.
okay, so he could play high school. Yeah, in
Yeah,
the movies, all high schoolers are 20 something.
yeah,
And even the animated version of Invincible, I always thought they drew him to look a little older than what I would consider a high schooler. Who would look more like a college kid to me.
yeah.
So that's cool. Over on HBO Max, I watched Tenet. Tenet was the big movie drop. You know, they're doing all the Warner
Oh yeah,
Brothers
yeah, yeah.
stuff. And so I watched Tenet, and honestly,
No way.
I'm kind of on it.
Wow, I thought it was
We
good. I
did
didn't.
you
I didn't
like
watch
it?
it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, I was hoping to get your review. So, my personal opinion, and I don't want it to sway you or the listeners. It's definitely worthy of a watch. I feel like it's so similar in tone and style to Inception. The problem for me is the big trickery special effect is just them playing the video backwards. Like the big special effects and shit goes backwards. Yeah, and I felt like the special effect, silly, unique idea of Inception was way cooler. Like it looked cooler. I thought the concept of it was cooler, and so I feel almost like Tenet should have came out first. Like if it would have came out before, if Inception never existed, and I saw Tenet, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And then when I saw Inception, like, holy crap, that's even cooler. But they're both mine Fs, right? So both movies will leave you thinking, and then like, wow, that was kind of weird, right? Because that's kind of I think that's what he's going for. The other thing that I didn't like is the audio mix in this movie is horrendous. And he does this thing where the background music is oftentimes louder than the people talking. And so it's like, and you're
Yeah, yeah.
like, what the, like, you almost have to watch it with the subtitles on.
That's how I watch movies anyway, so I think I'll be okay.
That'll help because like I was like, what did he say? What did he say? What did Batman just say? What did he say? Like I couldn't figure out what the hell was happening. So and then only thing I think that maybe you may not like it, or you probably, I don't know. It does have a lot, not necessarily time travel,
God
but
damn it, time travel.
they call it time inversion, which I found even more irritating than time travel when you try to conceptualize what the hell is happening. And my theory is all these people on the social media is like, oh, this is the most amazing movie. They didn't get it. They think it feels fancy because once you get to the end and you see the end, the conclusion, you're like, oh my God, it's so simple. Like the movie itself is not that complicated, but the way they do it is overtly complicated just to make you feel like you sat through something way more smart than it is. And anybody that's trying to tell me that it's the smartest movie and I just don't get it, I think they didn't get it. And they just feel like, well, I didn't get it, so it must be really smart.
It's kind of like when I'm driving, right? I'm just like predicting what's gonna happen, and they just show my prediction, and then make it look like it's time travel.
Exactly. Basically,
should be a movie.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's the concept. I don't want to ruin it for you because really giving away anything in this movie will ruin it for you. Because when you get to the end, you're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Well, so, you didn't get it because you didn't hear anything.
Yeah, well, I got it though. When it was over, when it's said and done, like it took me to the very end for me to be like, oh, okay. And so I would give Tenet. It's beautiful. It's well acted. It's hard to hear. The special effects are fine. even though it's just a bunch of reverse. I'd give it a 6. So it's better than average, but it's not a movie I would ever watch again. I found parts of it to be a little slow and boring. I feel like I got most of the effects out of the trailer, so then you just kind of had to watch it play out. And even though it's supposed to be like mysterious, I kind of knew what was going to happen before it even finished.
You just don't get it, man. You don't get it.
I'm just not hip enough. I'm not hip enough to it.
You ain't woke.
Yeah, I don't think you have to be woke for Tenet, but that's cool. Also on HBO, they did release some stills from the prequel of the House of Dragons, which I was like, whoa, cool. I don't know anything about it other than that makes me excited that it is in fact really happening because there's pictures of it. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, because when it was released, I'm like, I text my wife. I'm like, you know how I know that you're gonna watch the House of the Dragon? She's like, how? And I was like, because Matt Smith is in there.
What? Is he a Doctor Who?
Yeah, he's Doctor Who.
I thought so. Yeah. I mean, I can't really give too much more about it other than it's something that's happening because I haven't seen anything other than a couple pictures.
Well, one thing that I had a question on from those photos, was the black guy supposed to be a Targaryen?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because he had like, the blonde hair.
Right. And that's kind of like their main look, right? They're the ones that have the super blonde hair.
Yeah. But in my mind, like, how the Targaryens are so into like their lineage and bloodline.
Right.
That why would they even go outside of that? So
maybe that'll be an interesting plot point.
Yeah.
Maybe something that they didn't talk about but happened kind of a thing,
Yeah.
kind of like the first Americans and their slaves.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. I'm totally interested in that. The only other TV tidbit is I've been watching more Naked and Afraid, and I still highly recommend it. It is amazing. I love it. It's 60 days of pure adrenaline of these people doing crazy stuff. So if you're not watching it, find Discovery and watch it because it's great.
Yeah, for me, Naked and Afraid is like the most intriguing TV show that I watch. I'm just like, what is happening? But I just can't look away. What's going on?
Yeah, you're so sure they're gonna die, and you're like, why are these people doing this? And there's no prize. Like, especially this episode, it's the first time ever they're going 60 full days, no help, no support, butt ass naked in the Louisiana swamps. And what's funny is they're only like 6 days in. Someone's already quit, and they're all acting like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. And they've all done this This is like most of their times, 5th time they've done it. So
yeah, and like you said, there's like no prize, but yet people come back and do it again. They're like, what's going on, man? Like,
I think they like to like kind of prove themselves, but they must be turning this into money after the fact. They're showing up at like outdoorsman shows or something, but like, yeah, I'm the guy that survived this thing.
Oh, I have never heard any events with them.
There's got to be somewhere. I think we just don't run in the right circles. They're not showing up at Comic-Con.
No,
I want to see you in your Naked and Afraid outfit.
Because I remember seeing one season where there's a dude that was from Oregon, and the one that they're like in the desert or something.
Oh, like I mean, normally they do put them somewhere where they're gonna die of thirst. So they have the one guy, Matt. Anybody who watches Naked and Afraid know Matt's probably of the legends. He's the most legendary one because he's the one that always kills stuff and like lives forever because he's able to kill so many things. And the only time he ever gets kicked out is when he gets weird infections from killing things.
From his foot.
Yeah. And so no spoilers, but he does have some issues similar to that, but he's still trucking along killing things and he's awesome.
Is Nick in there too?
Maybe. I don't remember. Like for some reason I remember Matt's name and that's about it.
Yeah.
What does Nick look like?
Nick is like like a skinny white guy, but he's the one that gets a lot of eels all the time.
What was smart this time is these dudes all showed up a little chubby. It's like they've done it enough times that they all know, like even Matt was like fat and like, oh, dad bods unite. Cause that's like, I'd be perfect for Naked and Afraid. I'm already ready to go.
Cause like most of the time you watch the earlier seasons, you're just starving all the time. So they know.
Yeah. Well, I think they were all thinking 60 days. That's 2 full long months. And they're going basically from fall into winter. So it's going to get really cold. Yeah, you're not going to want to be super skinny on this season.
Can you imagine training for this show? Just like eating out all the time?
Yeah, you would have to just like eat mayonnaise sandwiches like a crazy person before you went on there, because yeah, it's intense to say the least.
Yeah, the funniest thing I've seen on that show is like when people train for the show, they're like, I train by walking outside barefoot. I'm like, what the hell?
And that wouldn't help them on this one because they're all
Yeah.
like just sinking, right? Because I mean, it's swamps and they're like trying to walk and it's like sinking into like waist deep mud. And I won't tell you the bad things that live in the mud. It's just, just the thought of it. I would never do it. People are crazy.
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect time to take a quick break. We'll come back. We have just a couple tasty trailers today, and then we'll get those news stories that we missed last episode. So we'll see you all on the flippity flip. Need affordable graphic design? VisualanteDesign.com should be your first stop. High quality work at low prices. Perfect for every need from corporate to personal. Visit VisualanteDesign.com now and request your free quote. And for a limited time, mention Audionots for 10% off your first project. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. So my first tasty trailer, both of my tasty trailers today should be called tasty teasers, which sounds way dirtier than it is. So my tasty teasers. My first one is actually off of a sizzle reel. So Marvel released a sizzle reel that shows a whole bunch of stuff, and they just like threw in a little Eternals footage without telling anybody.
Or sizzle?
So, yeah, sizzle. And we're like, holy smokes. And so we got to see our first kind of glimpses of actual Eternals action. What did you think about these quick moments?
Yeah, it caught me off guard. I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
Like, rewind. Let's watch that again.
I think the only thing that bothers me with the Internals is they have too much of like well-known actors and actresses, and like I can't like and like why did you guys choose Angelina, and why can't you choose somebody else that just becomes that part rather than
that's a really good point.
That's Angelina. Why is Tomb Raider in here?
Right. No, that's a really good point, because you think about Marvel movies and you think, well, these are all superstars, but a lot of them became the superstars because of the Marvel movies. Like who Chris Hemsworth was before the Marvel movies?
Nobody.
Yeah, and now he's like a huge star. And so that's a fantastic point, because they loaded up with people we all recognize. We recognize Angelina Jolie. We recognize Kumar, whatever his name is. We recognize the dude from Game of Thrones. We recognize all these folks.
Yeah. Why is Rob Stark in here?
Yeah.
But then that's Rob Stark, for me, that's kind of okay, because you don't really know him that much, you just kind of know him from Game of Thrones, and that's it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They had too many famous people, but and they didn't give us a ton, right? They only give us a little bit of what's going on, but it's enough to make me go, okay, I want more. When's the big trailer coming out?
Yeah, and my other question was like, how the Asian chick, Gemma Chan.
Oh yes,
that's her name.
By the way, I remade my top 10 hots list not that long ago, and she's on my list because holy smokes, and she's my age. That's the funniest thing. I went back, I thought I gotta remake my top 10 because that's a normal thing to do for people. So I was working on it because me, I like a good list. I was working on my list, and when I got done, I realized that like 9 out of my top 10 hottest ladies out there were age appropriate for me, and I was like, let's go.
Nice.
Yeah.
So my question about her is like, she's in this movie, right?
Yeah.
But she's also in Captain Marvel movie.
What did she play in Captain Marvel?
She played like a green-looking alien with Jude Law. Remember that?
Maybe their thoughts are that you won't be able to tell because of all the makeup and things.
Yeah. Oh, I could tell, man. That's Gemma. I know Gemma from anywhere.
Yeah, she is a smoke show, and she's age appropriate, so that part I like.
Yeah, the first time I seen her was in this show called Humans.
Yeah,
or being humans.
Human
or human, where she was like an AI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it would make sense to make her a robot because she's perfectly proportioned. The other teaser we got was Stranger Things, so it was kind of cool. So instead of just giving us a full Stranger Thing, they gave us like a little clip. And did you see it or no?
I did.
Okay. So in the clip, we see them basically, it takes us back to the doctor who was running the program, which 11 came up. And we learned that there were a whole bunch of those kids, which we kind of knew. They teased us with, I think, one of the numbers at one point in season 2 or 3. And so we get to see all these other kids that have maybe abilities, which makes me think we're going to see some other kids that can make shit float here coming up soon.
Yeah, because the thing is, they didn't really show that the kids have powers, but they kind of alluded that they were like moving stuff or something's happening.
Right. I mean, it was a whole program to see if they could get these kids to do this kind of stuff. And 11 was clearly the most successful that we know so far. But yeah, there was like an entire room of these kids, and you can see the doors with all the numbers on them, and then they swing and focus in on number 11. And so I'm like, okay, maybe they'll get back to like what made Stranger Things great. Maybe a little more subtle and not so much monsters out the gate.
Will you be mad if this whole season is a prequel?
No, I don't think I would be, but I don't know how they could even do it unless they got another cast member to play her, because she's grown up a lot.
I know. Yeah, it's because it ended with them like in Russia, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, where's Hopper, man?
He got sucked through like a wormhole and ended up in Russia somehow. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they would do the whole season as a prequel unless they don't ever really show 11 that much and they just special effect make her look younger or something. Or maybe they were geniuses and they filmed a bunch of scenes with her early on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they'll probably do like an episode or some as a prequel of like all the kids, because they might introduce more kids to help out the OG kids. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if they're all of a sudden we're moving from their little tiny sleepy town all the way over to Russia, like if somehow I'm just trying to imagine what the plot is that you could get these 4 kids or 5 kids to go to another country. Like I'll be curious to see how they work it so it doesn't feel absolutely silly.
It'd be funny if they just make the whole like Stranger Things universe, all these kids with superpowers throughout the the nation. Like, God damn it, what's going on?
I think that would be bad.
Yeah,
And
please don't do that.
I'm hoping it's going to be good. I guess I'm rooting for it to go back to more quiet and subtle, but it could obviously go the opposite way. But for me, I feel like the Stranger Things seasons have gotten worse every season. Like the first one was a perfect 10. Like it's one of my all-time favorite single seasons of show. It didn't need to have sequels. It had a start, it had a middle, it had a finish. It was fantastic. And then every one after that was kind of like, okay. That one's pretty good. No, that one's fine. And then they get a little bit less. I'm hoping that this doesn't continue that trend.
Yeah, for me, the other seasons, it had like its moments, and that's it. It had a good like season 2, the Demi Dogs, oh let's go, and stuff like that. But
yeah,
as a whole season is not as good as season 1, the OG.
Yeah, they need to not try to top themselves constantly. Like they felt like they have to give us more, and we don't need it anymore. We need them to take a step back, and it might be better that way.
Right.
So I think it's time to dip our toes in the news jacuzzi. So my first news story has to do with pizza delivery. I mean, who doesn't like to get pizza? And so our friends at Domino's, you've probably even seen it. I think they've even started having commercials for it. But they've created these automated cars that will deliver your pizza to you with no human being in it at all. I was reading about this on CNN Business, and it says here that the robots are coming and they're bringing pizza. Yeah. Hold on, my page is loading. But here we go.
So it says, in peace.
This week, Domino's is rolling out a robot car delivery system to service select customers in Houston. A lot of times this stuff seems to happen in like San Francisco. Yeah, Arizona sometimes. For those who opt in, their pies will arrive in a fully autonomous vehicle made by Neuro. There's another one you can look up on your investments. Here's how it works. Customers in the Woodland Heights neighborhood of Houston can choose robot delivery, receive text with updates on the car's location, and numerical codes that can be used to retrieve the order. Once the car arrives, the customer enters the number on the bot's touchscreen, and the car door opens to serve them the food. So the only downside of this is you got to leave your house. So maybe this is great in Houston where it doesn't rain a bunch, but here in Oregon, I'm not sure that I want to truck out there in my socks and like in the rain and punch in the code into the robot pizza delivery.
You're used to DoorDash drop-offs now.
And they're doing something like I hadn't had Domino's in a million years, but during our COVID quarantine where we all got locked in here for a couple of weeks, we actually broke down one night and ordered Domino's. and it was pretty good. And I have to give them credit for credit's due because I'm not usually a big fan of theirs. But I swear to you, I don't know how they do it or whatever, but the pizza showed up so hot it was unedible at first. And I'm like, how did they get it from there to here? And I understand they have those heat bags and all that stuff, but it felt like they had it in like a goddamn oven the entire way.
Maybe it was one of those cars that had an oven.
Yeah. Do they have that? It seems like they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, they have that. Like the car has an oven in the back and they just keep it warm.
Yeah, so I don't know. Are you excited about pizza delivery via? I mean, it's the only downside to this. Like, I'm all about technology personally. I think it's cool, but this does take away the job of your basic minimum wage workers who get a lot of good tips and things like that. The nice thing for the user is you don't have to tip a robot. But is it going to be faster? How is it more convenient to me? Other than you can say that other than Domino's saving money on that worker. How does it benefit the customer?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, of all the things you can add, it doesn't make a lot of sense for the customer.
I want a robot to grab it out of the car and deliver it to me on my doorstep.
Yeah, if one of those like crazy like Boston Scientific robot dogs grabbed the pieces like and like came rolling up to the house, that'd be okay. I'd be totally down for that. Okay, hold on. My iPad's completely crashed. Just a white screen.
Oh, the robots! It's happening.
They heard me talking shit. They're like, "Oh, he thinks he can run this thing and have his show notes still work. He's wrong."
You know how like technology, technology always like makes more technology. Maybe their autonomous driving will like influence, Elon Musk to make his like better. I don't know, or like Ford to do theirs.
Well, there's a lot of that. Like, yeah, because I've seen a lot of buses now. They have those buses that'll drive you to and from the airport that are all autonomous. There's nobody in them. You just sit in them. I mean, I don't know. Would you be nervous to ride in a bus like that had no person driving it?
Well, for me, it's kind of sketchy because for that to be perfect, you need to live in like a digital world where everything's connected, right? Like all the side panels are, I don't know, man.
Yeah, because of the human factor of everybody else.
Yeah, because this car could be perfectly safe, but I don't know what this guy's thinking or that girl's thinking. Like.
Well, maybe that's a good step with the pizza robot car then, because if it crashes, you only lose a couple pizzas. You don't lose anybody's life.
Yeah.
My next story has to do with Quibi. You remember Quibi?
Oh yeah, it's back.
Yeah, Quibi's back.
No way.
Yeah, so Quibi's back. If anybody who listens to the show knows that Quibi's been quite the roller coaster for us. Quibi came out. I was super excited because it came out during our furlough early in the year. I'm like, yeah, Quibi, or early last year, and I sat at home and I watched all these dumb little TV shows on my phone for a couple weeks. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. And then my free trial ended and I never paid money for it once. And the company went out of business. They lost billions of dollars.
It's because of you.
Yeah, because of people like me, for sure. So all that good content, I mean, they bought all this content. So it came up for a bidding war. You can actually bid on it. And Roku, our friends at Roku, ended up buying all the Quibi originals. And so now they're adding them to the Roku channel. So anybody who has a Roku and watches the Roku channel, which is getting way better, like it has a ton of channels. It has like 500 channels now. Will actually have all the Quibi originals.
Well, the good news is that you can watch the Quibi shows, but not YouTube's.
I know, but it's so funny because I got the email from, speaking of that, I got the email from YouTube and the Roku like arguing, telling me why each of them suck. And then I finally got the email that said, oh, by the way, Roku and YouTube couldn't come to a deal. It's over with. I mean, they're getting divorced kind of thing. But yeah, it still works. I haven't had it not work. It still works. We're still using it. So I'm gonna use it up to the last moment. And then I following your advice of last time, where rather than go searching for a new one like that, I'm gonna go ahead and just get myself like an Amazon Cube or something.
Yeah, at least it should work until Naked and Afraid's over.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, you know what I'm hoping on is I'm hoping that it works for the remainder of the NBA season. So that's kind of where my hope is right now. I'm like, that's where I watch all my sports. So whatever.
Well, the thing is, you're gonna get your wish. It's gonna end at the end of the season, but then you're gonna miss the playoffs. Like, no.
No, please don't do that to me. And my final news story, since we already used my Venmo cryptocurrency story, it was one that you actually showed me, and I looked it up some more, and I thought this is super cool.
What?
So yeah, I know. Disney is taking it to another level again at their theme parks. So they've actually come up with a real lightsaber, well, as real as it can be. Ren showed me some of the video of this, and it was incredible. There was an actress playing Rey, and I went and watched the videos again and again. But somehow they have a retractable light beam that actually comes out of her lightsaber, and it's like, and it goes back in, and all she has is the hilt. And it's like, I was shocked. Like, I have, let's see, do I have one? I do. I have one right here. Mine doesn't do anything. It just, it's just like a regular lightsaber. She can go, and next thing you know, she's good to go. And it's just like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I watched that so many times. I'm like, how the hell did they do this? Like, she's magic.
But yeah, I did some more research trying to figure out how they do it, and they're being very careful about how they did it. But they had mentioned in the report that the idea came to them from a very simple device. You'll never guess what it is.
A flashlight?
A tape measure. So the same concept of a tape measure. So hear me out. I'm gonna explain this because the people in the article they went looking for the patents to see if they could kind of suss it out. And so what they're suggesting is, the LED light strands that we can all get, and they have like the sticky side, and you tape them behind your TV, and everything looks cool.
Yeah.
The suggestion is like a tape measure. That's what's inside this thing, and it's rolled up in a ball. And when she pushes a button, it pulls out, it pops out, and then when she pushes a button, it retracts it, and it lights up as it goes, and that's what makes the effect.
So is it like, so when it's like fully extended, is it like a rod or what?
Yeah, it's essentially like a tape measure, but with LED lights. But there's something special, obviously, about the LED lights that you can't just see that it's a strip of LED lights. So there's something more going on. But I think that's the basic concept. They've somehow come up with this light strip. So the most easiest way to explain it is they have a roll of light strip that pulls out, then retracts back in, and it lights up to where you can't tell it's a light strip. You just see the aura of the light as if it's a real lightsaber, and that's super impressive.
So this is only for show. You can't be like, let's go sword battle. Bang,
right.
Bang, bang.
Exactly. So you can't buy it. If they do have sword battles, I'm sure it'll be very choreographed so that no one can end up breaking their. Think if you're a kid battling with a tape measure. I mean, you hit that on one thing, it's like. So I mean, the concept is super cool. I can't wait till one day when we can buy real lightsabers. But for right now, it'll just be part of their shows, and they'll probably, depending on how it works, keep you at a certain distance. It won't be like the girls that are walking around getting their pictures taken with everybody. She'll be like the on-stage performer.
Can you show me your saber?
How long does it get? That's what I want to know. So that's all I have.
I'm curious to see if they're gonna do like Kylo's like saber with the little like side ones. Like,
well, I suppose if that's how the effect works, I mean, maybe it would work that way too. I don't know. Or maybe even better, could they do Darth Maul where it goes out of both ends?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Super curious.
Yeah. So I'm stoked for to go back to Disneyland when they have this and see it in real person, see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Nice. That's it. Do you have anything else? Anything else you want to add before we wrap this bad boy, stamp it and mail it?
No, I think we're good, man. We hit our time mark. So I think the audience are like, hurry up and finish, damn it.
I'm done. I want to hear that funny little bit at the end. Cool. All right. With that, we bid you all adieu. Bye.